Okay, I'm ready to make my Grandma Ferris's buttermilk biscuits. Zane and Mary are coming over, and we're gonna have biscuits. Okay, see, I got my flour, baking powder, salt, buttermilk, and shortening. And I always use Crisco. Now I'm going to start my oven to heating, and I usually cook mine at 375. Clean everything out of my oven. Okay, we'll get started here. Now, first of all, you've got to understand that I am a dump cook. I've done it so many times, and if they turn out like they're supposed to, you'll get to see them. And if they don't, I'll delete this entire video. All right, I'm gonna try to make about 10 or 12 biscuits, enough to fill up my iron skillet. Now, this is a half cup measuring cup, but you see I'm putting a lot of flour in there. And I will start out with baking powder. There's 1, 2, 3 heaping teaspoons. And my salt. That's a little more than I want. About like that. And I mix that up good. I'm sure I've got all of my ingredients thoroughly blended. I'm going to turn a burner on to medium. And I'm going to dip out my shortening. About that much. I have no idea how much that is, but I'm relatively sure that will be enough. Now, I watch all these biscuit making people, and they cut their shortening or their butter into their flour mixture. I never do that. I will show you my process, and all the times previous to this, it has always worked. And as I said, if it works out, you'll see the final results, and if it doesn't, you'll never know it. Now, I always make a well right in the middle of my flour, and I'll be back as soon as my shortening melts. Okay, I'm back, and the first thing I do is pour my buttermilk in the middle. Then I pour my melted Crisco right in there. and I begin to mix. Now if I've got too much buttermilk, and I don't, I'll add more until I get the right sticky consistency that I want. If I get too much buttermilk, I'll put just a handful of flour in there. And that looks just right. Now before I dump it on my board, let me show you, I've got my skillet over here and I've got shortening in it that I have melted. I'm going to take some of it out and I'll show you how I do this. I like a generous amount in the bottom of my skillet. Oh, I've got to get my cutter. Here it is. It's just a tomato sauce can that I've cut the top out and put a couple of holes in the bottom. Now I'm going to put a generous amount of flour and out goes my biscuit dough. And I will take some flour and sprinkle over and begin to knead until it is no longer sticky but comes together. This is usually what scares people from making biscuits, is the kneading process, and I never have found it to be difficult. And as I said, this is my Grandma Ferris, my dad's mother. It's her recipe. I'm not sure she did it exactly like I'm going to. And people that on these cooking shows that make biscuits, they always say not to knead it too much. Well, I knead it until I've got it to about this point right here. Then I flop it over and I mound it up. And let me clean my hands off a little. Also on the cooking shows, they always cook at 450 degrees or something like that. Well, that's not my method. And I just pat it out with my hands like this until I've got it about a half an inch or so. Then I flour my cutter. My oven beeped, it's ready, and I'm going to be ready in a minute too. I might have to get my little skillet out and make a few extra. Okay, now I bring my skillet over and notice I've got a goodly amount of shortening in there. I like my biscuits to have a crust on the bottom, but to be soft on the inside. A little speck of something there, I don't know what that is. And I dip my biscuits and flip them over. And I like mine up close to each other, like that. Now for the last one. All right, notice they've all got a good coating of Crisco on top. I'm gonna take my little skillet because I'm gonna have some extra. And I'll put my shortening in there. Good thing I had extra shortening. Now these, this is more than we will eat. But Hulk, who is sitting over there, or laying over there, he heard me call his name. So he knows he's going to be discussed. I need some more shortening in there. Better enough than not enough. All right, I'll set this aside and I'll bring my dough together one more time. And I'll flatten that now, and I'm going to probably make 3 or 4 more. This skillet was cold. Okay, into the oven. I put it on sort of the top, and I will bring you back when that is done. And okay, table is set, cantaloupe is out, preserves are open, and we'll be taking out the biscuits shortly. I think. Take out the big pan. Those look like biscuits or what?
You can actually get down here into the woods and
we'll take one out. Look at the bottom. Just like I like them. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to open it up for you. Does that look like a biscuit or what?
Okay, the weekend continues. The next job on deck. So I'm working on the fence.
I will put a healthy dab of bacon on it.
I say it's a locust tree. I don't know, you may call it.
And I'm going to do me another one.
I don't know, but all I know is it's a scrub tree.
That's probably all I'll have is 2. So there. I hope you enjoyed my little biscuit making adventure. And I'm sure the way they look, they will be good. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share with your friends.